Hello and welcome to the Dressage Anywhere podcast. Hello, it's Ruth from Dressage Anywhere here. Now this week is just a shorty solo one with little old me, and I thought we'd have a chat about riding for the disabled. Now, with my Dressage Anywhere hat on, we've been involved with riding for the disabled for a number of years, running online dressage competitions. And I remember the very first one we ran many, many moons ago, and we received all the videos on DVD, which we then needed to upload and link up to entries for the group. And that was Mid Cheshire RDA up north, who we still have lots of entries from, and they're a great support of Dressage Anywhere. Now, I've been lucky enough to attend the RDA Nationals at Hartpury. So the RDA Nationals are run every year in July at Hartpury, and we've had a stand in one of the main tents there and been lucky enough to meet lots of groups and riders, and you know, it's a really good opportunity to see just how much hard work is involved all round and how much these achievements mean to everybody, and not just the riders, but the whole team around them is brilliant. So back in 2019, I was at Hartpury and I was getting ready actually to award medals to our RDA online dressage champions. So we run monthly qualifiers, and that culminates in a championships every year. And in fact, the next qualifiers for next year's championships have just opened up for RDA. So do go and check that out on the Dressage Anywhere website. So yes, I was at the RDA Nationals, and this lovely lady from Wellington and Dummer RDA approached me, and we had a really good chat about online dressage and some of her riders, her group, the riders in her group who'd taken part already in Dressage Anywhere. And we got chatting about volunteering, and the rest is history. So a few weeks later, I popped over to the Dummer branch, and I just wanted to find out more about it and see if I would be a suitable volunteer for the group. And what struck me first was how friendly and supportive the whole team is. There's such a lovely, supportive atmosphere, and there's also cake, which is very important. So on my first afternoon with the team, so we just had a cup of tea and some cake, and we talked through what's required of a volunteer. And then we got on to talking about how you support a rider in the saddle as a sidewalker. And then the different levels of leading a pony. Now, it all sounds really straightforward, and it is to a certain extent, but there are different levels of leading a pony. So, say a level 1, you've got complete control of that pony. So that quite often they have a head collar under the bridle, and you've got hold of the lead rope, and you hold the lead rope under the chin and then at the other end, and you have complete control. And a level 2 lead is a little bit more relaxed, where your hand is further down the lead rope and you're walking at the horse's head still, so you have control, and the idea is if something were to happen, you can step in and get control of that pony quite quickly. And a level 3 lead is the rider has control and you're just there just in case. So you hold the lead rope further down, and you're still at the horse's head, but you're stepped a little bit more to the left or the right, because of course, depending what rein you're on, you have to change sides. Whilst we're talking about changing the rein, oh my life. It sounds really, really basic and simple, and I bet most people can do it straight away. But when you've got all of that knitting in your hands, you've got the reins and you've got the lead rope, it's actually quite complex, because you cannot let go of that lead rope and those reins at any time. So it's a very kind of, well, with me, it's not very graceful, but I sometimes depending on the pony, I have to stop at X or in the middle of the arena and change sides and then get going again, because it's quite hard to do it all in one go and keep it fluid and keep the pony moving without letting go of anything. What I really didn't appreciate was what a challenge it can be for our riders in the saddle. So I rode one of their ponies, Tara, who is my favourite. Don't tell any of the others. Tara is adorable. She's just lovely. I love grooming her. I love being around her. She's just this air of calmness, and she's lovely to be with. And I had a little sit on her, which was great. And it was really hard not to ride her, As soon as I was in the saddle, legs are on, off we go. No, don't do that. What they wanted me to do was have a leader leading her, give that leader control, and have sidewalkers next to me and close my eyes. And, I've done this quite a lot in the saddle with my own horse, Jeffrey. Maybe, out of sheer frustration of, oh my God, what am I doing? No, but I've never kind of done that to kind of really get a sense of what it would be like for a rider that, has to rely on the sidewalkers or the leader. And it's quite disorientating. I don't recommend you try it unless you have somebody on the ground with you, by the way. And it was really important to understand how crucial the communication is with the rider and how much trust they put in everybody around them. And I really got an excellent sense of that. And bless Tara, she was as good as gold, and everybody was really supportive with me swaying around in the saddle. So it was a really good experience. So following all of that, I signed up as a volunteer, and it's a really straightforward process. There are a couple of forms that you need to complete and some references that you need to give to prove that you are who you say you are, and you are a competent person, and you can do this. And of course, the team needed to be satisfied that I would fit in with the group as well. What I really do appreciate is with the group, there is no pressure to do anything that you're not comfortable with. And you're kind of gradually introduced into new things when you're ready. No question is a daft question. Now, I like to think that I'm fairly experienced with horses. I mean, I have two. One I ride, one I don't. But I'm also mindful of the responsibility of looking after a rider in the saddle. So it's been quite good to take things at a steady pace and learn from the other team members. And where I've done something that's not quite right, somebody's been quite quick to let me know, it would be better if you did X, or just provide some extra support there. So it's been brilliant. So up until the pandemic hit, I had been going to volunteer and support riders nearly every week, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. For me, it means I'm off grid for a few hours, which is great. I love my work with Dressage Anywhere, and I love chatting to riders, and I love everything about it really. But it's nice just to take a step back and have a bit of a breather. And in volunteering, I can completely focus on doing something totally different and leave work behind. Now, what normally happens is we start by bringing the ponies in from the field and get them ready for lessons. And as we're moving into winter, that's turning into quite a mammoth task of grooming everybody and getting all the mud off them. And I'm usually under a cloud of dust from all of the mud, but that's fine. It's nice to spend time with them, to be honest, and getting them all ready for their riders. So I do a bit of everything there. Sometimes I help to bring the ponies in and I groom them. Sometimes I go and poo pick in the field while other people are grooming. And I'm usually a sidewalker for one of the riders every week. Now, every rider's needs are different. For some riders who are fairly new to riding and are maybe not so stable in the saddle, we will have to provide a little bit more support. For some, it's just an ankle hold, which is quite straightforward. And for some, as they get more confident in the saddle and more comfortable, as a side walker, you're just required to walk alongside just in case something were to happen. And then gradually, as they become more confident in the saddle, you can start taking a step back, and then you just have a leader and one side walker, and then the other side walker steps back and you just have a leader, and so on. But what's really great is when you work with a rider week on week and you see the progress that they make. It is hugely satisfying, and it is great to share in their successes. From listening to an instruction from a coach and carrying it out, to riding independently and even having a trot for the first time. It's just to see the smiley face and the happy face on that rider and the family as well. It is hugely satisfying. So once all of our lessons are done, all the ponies are untacked and fed, and then they're rugged up, and they're popped out into the field, and then we skip out the stables and sweep the yard. Now, these ponies are really worth their weight in gold. Each one is so unique and has their own characteristics, and it is such a pleasure to spend time looking after them and sneaking a cuddle every now and then. So one thought I want to leave you with is something that struck me very early on in my volunteering journey, and that's the RDA slogan. It's what you can do that counts. And I very quickly realised that's not just for riders and members, it's also relevant for the volunteers. If you can give just a couple of hours a week, or even just an hour, it really does count, and it makes a huge difference. So if what I've been talking about today has piqued your interest, do go and have a look at the Riding for the Disabled website, which is rda.org.uk. And on that website, you can click on the volunteer button, find out more about it, and then you can explore the RDA groups that are in your area and get in touch with people and see what support they might need. One quick thing I should mention as well is the RDA have a separate volunteer training hub. So in the early days, I completed a few courses where you can learn a lot more to build your awareness and take tests at the end and receive a certificate. There are some great courses. There are courses on disability awareness, safeguarding, working with horses and horse care. So there really is a wealth of information to help. And of course, your group are there to provide you with any training and support that you need. I really, really hope that this has interested somebody. If just one person listening to this gets in contact with RDA as a result and finds out more and goes on to volunteer, I will be absolutely made up, because I think it's really great to give something back like this, and to help support groups, and especially the riders. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for listening to the Dressage Anywhere podcast. Dressage Anywhere is an online platform where you can upload your dressage test videos and enter competitions with other riders from around the world. Find out more about us at dressageanywhere.com, Dressage Anywhere on Facebook, Dressage_Anywhere on Instagram, and Dressage_Comp on Twitter.